All right, so looks like Bobby Lashley is headed out of WWE. Kind of disappointing. But with that said, started a lot of hoopla from the people. And one of the big ones that we can always sort of get to is the fact that WWE dropped the ball on Bobby Lashley. Also, this also started up a whole bunch of is Triple H a little bit of the is against a certain group of people. Well, let me get to go out the way. That's like I don't know that man directly. I was like, so I'm not gonna say yay or nay, but I'm gonna say nay. I'm also gonna say I don't know who some of these people are that like to bring it up where they talking about like the Street Profits, where they at? Bianca, she's regulated to the tag team and all this other stuff. And I was like, wasn't it 2 months ago that everybody was over here talking about like, look, it's made for us. It's made for us because of Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes and I'm like, Sexy Red coming through. Like, okay, like y'all can't backtrack now and flip on the whole thing. And I was like, also with all those things you want to say, pretty much, I'm like, look, there's good reasons for each and every one of them. But one of the thing that started the one of the thing that ignited it pretty much is the whole Bobby Lashley thing. And that I will say Triple H dropped the ball on this. Now, first of all, let's just go ahead and just knock some of the stuff out the way of why people think that it's not in that case. One, look, people say his age, he's 49, I think he's about to be 50. And everybody's like, he's old, he can't do this anymore, blah, blah, blah. There's younger talent and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, cool. Now let me know who that younger talent is. Because CM Punk is old, but guess what? We was all here riding about, him getting championship, him facing on Seth Rollins at WrestleMania and all this stuff. Guess what? If he got the championship, nobody's batting a real eye there, are we? No, he's old ass. Randy Orton, everybody's over here like, man, could we get another one out of him? Could he get the championship? And guess what? Ass old. John Cena retiring. And guess what? Nobody ain't gonna bat an eye really if they make a storyline where he gets the last championship and breaks the record. And he ass old because he retiring. I was like, AJ Styles. Some people are still over here being like, oh, we get one last run. Can we get one last run with AJ Styles? Can we? Can we? Asshole. Who else we got? I was like, I don't necessarily. They're not as old. I mean, first of all, some people was like, oh, LA Knight. I was like, oh. I was like, Seth, Roman, those people who is like, when it's like the younger talent, where's this younger talent? I was like, yes, those two. So people, Drew McIntyre or whatever like that. Yes, they're like 39, about to go into their 40s with a couple other people, but at the same time, I was like, but they are old in the ways of wrestling. Like they've been around a long time. They've been in WWE a long time, so they old in that way. Who's this younger talent that you talking about? That's going to be jumped up here. The only one I can really think that you could say is Gunther. That's it. Everybody else is all around that 40, around like 39 to like 44, outside of like Cena, Randy, and all them. I was like, so the age thing does not work here. I was like, this is really like his like first injury, his like injury that's really taking him out for a long time. Cause I was like, before that, I was like, he wasn't really getting injured like that. So you can miss me with some of the injuries. You can miss me with the age. He's in phenomenal shape. I was like, people want to say his mic skills. I'm like, whose mic skills is really that great? Like, I was like, now don't get me wrong. I'm like, the Punk. I was like, Drew been doing some really good mic skills here. I was like, Seth is good. But I'm like, it really depends. Cause I've seen some of y'all say that Roman Reigns on the mic, and I was like, it's like mid, and I was like, okay, that you're wrong. Cause I was like, especially as he been tribal chief, been really good. Uh, I was like, I was like, he has. I was like, is it generic and bland? Yes, but I was like, I think his mic skills are pretty much average. But he had MVP for the longest, which is another thing since he's going to be out of here too. But first of all, you had him with the Street Profits, so you had him with two other people that could talk on the mic. And I was like, to be honest, Bobby Lashley on the mic doesn't need to say too much. Look at his big ass. He don't need to say too much. So even if you want to say his mic skills was mid, I'm like, okay. So there's a lot of them that just be out here still doing what they need to do. His wrestling hasn't been compromised at all. I was like, he's a really big, strong, brute guy. I was like, guess what you do? You put him in there with other people. I was like, he can have matches against the small guys. He can matches with big guys. But also at the same time, I was like, I don't know what number I'm on. So letter D. Look, he's also was over. Like, he gets cheered now. He would get like you can't like they try to turn him heel and he just get cheered the whole time. He had an awesome thing song that everybody, and also when he comes out, that was awesome, and everybody just can't wait for him to come out. That I was like, with one, there's a lack of pure baby faces. He could be a pure baby face, and guess what? His little blandness worked because I was like, everybody else has a baby face, it's just pretty ass bland or whatever. Where you want to talk about like Sammy, where his underdog tone, that where he's like, I'm gonna do the right thing all the time. Cody Rhodes, that ain't really said too much, really, to be honest. I was like, this is baby faces, not nothing against those guys. But I'm like, he gets to work. I was like, he doesn't really get to do the heel thing anymore. But I was like, add a baby face when there's not too many baby faces. Also, he probably one of the few people that, even though, yes, you are doing Cody and the bloodline stuff, he's somebody that if you match him up against Cody, and you could do a babyface against a babyface a lot more than you could do like a heel versus a heel. Even though I would probably prefer the heel versus heel, he's like one of the few people that if you put him against Cody, which why we didn't think they were doing that at first, is because he's actually somebody that's like, while we know that Cody's not going to lose, he's somebody that you could feel that you're like, okay, but he could. I was like, when that's really so hard to do. Like, think about it. Like when I was like, who did we really think that Cody was gonna lose to? AJ, the first time, no. Second time, no. We thought it'd been all right, but Logan, hell no. So I was like, you put him against Bobby Lashley. Do we think that he's going to lose to Bobby Lashley? No. But he's probably the better credible person of them that we would have seen. Like, I was like, maybe, like at like 8% chance, maybe. But you get what I'm saying. So I was like, him and his whole persona and all that other stuff is somebody that you could use in different ways. I was like, the mid-card scene that basically has been like, you could have used him back there again, even though he's been the U.S. champion. I was like, and granted, he's been hurt. He's been hurt pretty much after WrestleMania. So, no telling how any of this would have gone either or whatnot. It's just really saying that he could have been used as after he came back healthy and whatnot. So, I think that, to me, that sucks. I think he dropped the ball on that one because it's hard to have people that you could easily throw in the main event and it don't feel like you're just throwing them in there. If you threw Bobby Lashley in the main event, it feels like, okay, cool, it's still a main event type of fight. You can't say that with too many other people. I was like, he's established. He could be used to help some of the younger people, if that's how you want to look at it too, while still being prominent. We never got him and Carmelo. And after they were going back and forth, guess what? Carmelo beating Bobby Lashley. You don't think that do a little bit of something to Carmelo? Beating somebody who technically be in the main event? So anyway, the rumors and speculations that pretty much that him and MVP is going to try to go to AEW and get Shelton Benjamin maybe as well and reform the Hurt Business. Probably a different name, but you get what I'm saying. So, with that, I was like, I think that that's really the only place they could go. There's really nowhere else they could really go, because that's the only other place that is name-ish value to WWE. And I was like, we ain't got time to debate the parameters of what that is, what that means. But with that being said, what can it work there? Sure, yes. I was like, this is all predicated on how much Tony's willing to push anybody or whatever. They're new toys, and it'd be a whole faction. They're going to get a run really early. Bobby Lashley is a main event name in a way that I think is different than Edge, just because I think that it's not looked as a farewell tour, even though he's of the same age. I think they're a real threat. I think it's a faction that could come in and wreak some havoc early on, top notch against everybody else. Whether he gets thrown in like the main title picture, that's different. But AEW got so many damn titles, they got so many people, they got so many storylines that it don't matter. And also too, to be honest, their factions have been also lacking as well too. I mean, outside the Elite, there really isn't anybody else there anymore, which is crazy for a place that used to have a bunch of factions. So they can be a dominant set themselves. With that being said, I was like, can you imagine? I was like, you got the persona of Bobby Lashley. You got like the wrestling of Shelton Benjamin, who could still go and wrestle with all these dudes or whatever against MJF or Will Ospreay. Now, question is, would they, and I think they would, try to get a fourth member? They can't obviously Cedric Alexander doing some stuff with Ashante on NXT, so they need a fourth person. Now, who could that fourth person be? I've seen somebody talk about Hobbs, which would be cool, but I'm pretty sure I don't know his relationship with the Kanellis family. I was like, I butchered that, but I mean, that'd be cool. But I think with Bobby, I don't know about if you want another big hulking type of dude. I thought about Scorpio Sky. I was like, I ain't really seen him, heard of him, anything like that. I was like, maybe he's in Ring of Honor. I don't know. I don't see that. But I'm like, somebody who can give you a little bit more. I would say he probably bridged the gap in a different way between Bobby and Shelton than anybody else you could really get. I was like, cause I can't think of anybody that's really. I was like, I would like to see him in there. I can't think of anybody else that's really like. It'd be cool. They sort of had a high flyer of sorts that can also like whoop ass. It also isn't in a group themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like that, I think that's the sort of the hard part. Cause like I said, even though there's no dominant faction, people still are like grouped up or whatever like that. So I was like, a four person I think is needed for them. But I think in AEW, at least their initial run, and like I said, they have enough power and presence to, I think, make something over there in a way that they should have been able to in WWE. And, like I said, they dropped the ball. Whether they wanted to bring back Hurt Business or not, the Lashley thing is also really just like, yeah, you kind of effed up there. But hey, okay, you do. Off the better patches for everybody. Look, WWE not hurting. Lashley gets another shot. We're going to see. Everybody can sort of eat. It's fine. I was like, we'll see different matchup. But anyway, what do y'all think about this? Do you think WWE dropped the ball on it? Do you think that they can thrive in AEW? Who should the fourth member be? Let me know. But until then, out.